This is part 62 of our Cry for Help.
It's June 7,
2012.
2012.
I'm really traumatized, so is Joe. And we thought that, when you get so traumatized, things don't seem like they are, okay? And we forgot that.
Yeah, so many things in our mind.
All right, but you know what? I really got to
it.
report this to the citizens of the world. And there's also somebody else listening to this conversation, which we will not mention. Now, I need to tell you what's going on with my insulin, because if I don't have legitimate insulin, I die, and I'm scared stiff, okay? So I need to give you a background of how we got to this point where we get counterfeit insulins, okay? Due to this cult that manufactures all kinds of scams, they're a big manufacturer, okay? They're an army of a cult. And, the police are involved, okay? And it's all about kickbacks and bribes. You give me, I give you, okay? This cult manufactures medications. They get a lot of medications from the black market. They get a lot of computers and electronics from the black market. And I'm saying this because we need a computer and a 4G or a 3G, okay? And all we get is counterfeit, or the stores say they don't have it. Okay? Because we are totally, as we said in our previous videos, the police with the lethal cult is hacking our computer. It's so obvious. The new thing we found today on the computer, we get a little flower on the top of our webpage.
On the left corner.
We click on it. It says somebody's name. And then you click on it again. It says somebody else's name. And you click on it again, and it says somebody else's name. And you keep,
what kind of names
wait. It's all crazy names, like hamburger, and they show a picture of a hamburger. But these are all the cult members that are set up to our target computer. And they have the network, okay? And when you click on it, it's set up that all these cult members sign in to my computer, to the Google account, to Google Chrome. They did this because I went into my computer that belongs to me and set up the Google Chrome the way I want it. But of course, they own my computer like they own us. So they think.
They think you just take over and come into your lives.
So they're so brazen. We have on top a little flower, and that represents petal. And that petal person signs in with her password. Okay, you can go on and on. There's 1 billion accounts on our computer that go into the Google account, Chrome, but Susan and Joe can't use their computer. They can't even use their YouTube correctly because they confiscate all our videos.
It's always a fight just to make a YouTube.
And they just confiscated. I just wrote 2 lengthy, long descriptions because we need to tell the citizens of the world and this particular person who knows exactly what's going on in our lives at this present time. And if we don't rectify it immediately, Joe and I are destined to die. This is very dangerous and very serious. Now, I'm going to start with my insulins, okay? And I have to give you a background of what transpired with my insulins. Due to PHYLLIS LEINWAND, who's the handler, and the person on who's listening to this also a handler, if she doesn't know or he knows. A handler is the person in a cult that tells her cult and the police, who are members of this cult, what they want to do with their victims. The handler of this cult is PHYLLIS LEINWAND. She's a principal in name only at Richmond Hill, Queens, New York.
This is where Susan taught. Susan taught for 25 years. Very successful teacher.
Right, and PHYLLIS
Susan was loved
mm-hmm.
by her students. Through Susan to elementary school, the kids loved her to death. The parents love Susan. She has praise letters from past administration. Even this PHYLLIS LEINWAND gave a praise letter because she was trying to attack Susan on everything, especially she was trying to attack the schoolwork. But Susan immersed herself in the children. Susan was very creative. The kids loved her. Like I said, the parents loved her. And this principal did everything in her corrupt power to get Susan out of that school. Anyway, she came in the year 2001. It culminated in the year 2004. That's when Susan was told by our psychologist that she had to leave, or else Phyllis LEINWAND was literally going to destroy her.
And our psychologist was Dr. Victor DeFazio, and he has to talk because he's hiding. He knows everything. He knows who told him.
He wrote the right letters. He wrote great letters. He knows our story.
But he was forced to do something really illegal.
But he was also forced to it.
Which we will tell when we meet the citizens of the world and a particular person that we need to tell this to.
Yes.
Okay?
But anyway, I guess Susan will go on and start. I guess she was
all right,
talking
please,
about,
Joe. Okay, because
I wanted this person also to, he'll
yes.
know a bracket, but also I want him to get it in, into his mind, to his head, to understand where all this came from.
Right.
Okay.
Well, by listening to all the videos, it gives a history, even though the cult took off.
It's so
half of
unbelievable.
Okay.
That it's like when I talk about this, it feels like a nightmare.
Okay, Joe, but you know what? I'm going to lose my life if I don't tell the citizens of the world.
Okay, go ahead.
Because somehow,
go ahead.
with this person, somewhere, someplace, someone has to come forward right away.
Exactly.
Okay, so please, okay, because I don't want to lose my life.
No, I certainly want you to lose your life. Okay.
All right. I'm sitting here very brave with what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, and I have to tell you about the insulin companies. Okay, I developed diabetes in the year 2008 as a result of the trauma and terror of this lethal cult we are entrapped in. And all I was doing is writing documents after documents after documents after documents to all the corrupt parties. And I realized, we both realized, okay, just a minute. We both realized that this year, we finally realized.
Yeah.
And maybe I could have saved my mother if we would have acted quicker.
It's not your fault.
Okay.
It's not your fault.
We realized we get violations every single day. If I'm going to keep on writing about all the violations, I'll never get my life back because I'm writing it to the corrupt parties.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
I mean, it's a good log, but after a while, you don't need any more logs. When you know that there's a satanical cult and police corruption and brutality after you, and the cult leader is Phyllis LEINWAND, and this satanical cult lives in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York, and has many hubs all over all over the United States, and I can name other places as well. They travel with us to Vermont. In Vermont, the satanical cult lives there. They drive, everyone, the cult in each state has little differences, okay, which we know because they live with us. They travel with us. They go into every service we have. They go into the restaurants. They do everything with us. They know more about us than we know about us, okay? Okay, this cult, because I want this person to know, robbed our personal bank account. Phyllis LEINWAND took out a certain amount of money, which we can prove. We have her handwriting on the withdrawal slip. Her husband is a printer. They racketeered with my pension, so I can't retire.
It's in custody
of the cult. And Phyllis LEINWAND. Okay? Joe, will you help me? They took every conceivable service away from us. They hacked our phones, our telephones,
and of course our computer.
Okay, which has to be investigated by a legitimate cybercrime specialist. Okay? I cannot see doctors, and I have documents to prove it. I can only see a doctor if I want to get witchcraft or satanical medical practices, because that's what the cult believes I should have, so I can die. Yeah. Okay? It's horrendous.
Lunatic.
And what happens is every doctor releases Joe and I, and, because Joe goes with me to every doctor because it's outrageous what's going on, and they say, and they commit character assassination against us.
That's all they do.
Okay?
That's the only thing they
And
perform.
and that's what the cult does, and that's what the police does. The police have probably 1,000 police reports on us that we're mentally deranged criminals. Everything is reversed. Okay? It's the corrupt police that are the mentally deranged criminals with the satanical cult, with PHYLLIS, LEINWAND, and all the conspiring parties. And what the cult and the police, especially the cult, does, they pretend they're the police. Even when we meet the cult, because we meet the cult face to face. They go with us wherever we go.
Yeah.
And they tell us, I'm the police. I'm going to handcuff you, and I'm going to arrest you. This is the cult talking to us.
Right.
And they also said, I'm going to take you to a place, and I'm going to deal with you personally. This is what we're up against. And Joe keeps on saying, we're going to fight them, we're going to fight them, we're going to get the things we need, we're going to get the things we need. And I keep on saying to Joe, how can you fight an army of thugs? You need the proper parties to help you. Okay?
Yes.
And the person that is listening to this, we need you. And we need the citizens of the world. And we know we have you, but you can't communicate with us. We know that the media wanted to take our case, but we can't communicate with you. It's horrific. And every place we go, it's horrific. Now, I got to get back to my insulin, because I go off in tangents,
Yes,
but
well,
this case is so convoluted,
I
and
didn't
that's
say
why...
anything to you. Yeah,
and
you,
that's why
you tell me that I go for
and that's
tangents.
why I told this person,
Okay, yes.
it's impossible to write everything down, because it would take 10 years.
It's humanly impossible.
Because the judicial system and the legal system abandon us for bribes.
We have volumes.
By this lethal cult,
volumes.
they make the judges corrupt, non-democratic, and we have to get all democratic help here. In every area. Anyway.
Back to the insulin.
Okay. I got diabetes in 2008. When I first got my insulin in New York where we were living, there was no problem with my insulin. Okay, I have good control if I don't have trauma and terror in my life, and if I don't get counterfeit insulins.
Absolutely. Susan does have control.
Yes.
She has great
Yeah,
number levels,
and
sugar levels.
I'm very tight control. I care about my health, and I take care of myself.
Yes.
Okay, some diabetics don't care.
No, we have a good diet. We eat try to eat the
right.
right food.
I'm not saying that sometimes you do go high because you get a low.
But it's
okay?
also, that's the nature of diabetes.
But basically, basically, if I didn't have this trauma and terror and I didn't have counterfeit insulins, I would be doing okay. What they're doing is they're trying to kill me through my diabetes by giving me these counterfeit insulins, okay? Which is orchestrated by the cult and the police, okay? And we cannot say everything.
Right.
Because it's horrendous. We will say, Joe and I go 1,000 miles, more than 1,000 miles. We stay in motels to search for legitimate pharmacists and legitimate insulin, which we cannot get most of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay, we cannot, and you wouldn't believe the lethal games with the police. They make us wait eight hours in the pharmacy.
Literally.
Because all the pharmacists say, this is not an insurance card. Is this a movie card? Is this a popcorn card? I never heard of this insurance company.
Then they
the whole idea.
Then they say, wait, we're gonna work on it. Just wait, we're gonna, and it's all procrastination.
The whole idea behind all this is to wait there 8 hours so that the cult with the police, and we have seen this, deliver counterfeit insulin. So we got smart. We go in the pharmacies and we say, we want to see the batch numbers beforehand, and we want to see that they're recent dates. So they show us the batch numbers. However, after you wait in the pharmacy for 8 hours, you literally see the police come in with dirty, riff-raff people carrying bags and throw it to the pharmacist. And I get old insulin, old-looking boxes, and I don't take it. Okay? It's, and this is because the judicial system abandoned us for bribes. Okay? It's so pathetic, and shameful. So in the beginning, my insulin companies were helping me.
Yes.
My insulin companies is Lilly. That's my short-acting insulin where I take Humalog. And my other insulin company is Novo Nordisk, which is my long-acting insulin, which is Levemir. We're going to come right back. I cannot write descriptions because the cold eradicates it. We'll be right back.
Okay, thank you for listening.
Yeah, we need your help.
We need your help. Thank